Hey, Sea Hunt Nuts. I'm back. Alec, Peirce at Sea Hunt Remembered. Remembered, Kevin says. Anyway, this is an odd little episode because I was going to say I don't have anything new. That's not true. I do have something new, but it's not really a new item. I'm a collector, specifically a sea hunt collector, as you know. I mean, I've collected other things in the past, but they didn't grab me, and so they're gone. The sea hunt collection has been very special for me. Been a lot of fun collecting, and I've enjoyed the fact that my collection is very large, the largest, some people say, and I've enjoyed very, very much sharing this, both at scuba displays, at scuba events in many places, Mexico and Bahamas, Ohio, and good old Bowling Green, Florida, California, and of course across Ontario, various places as well. So it's been an awful lot of fun. And on my Sea Hunt Collector website too. Kevin will put that link on there, seahuntcollector.com. If you've enjoyed this and want to see more, go to that. Anyway, I'm saying I'm a collector. And one thing the collector does, as he builds a collection, he's really enjoying it, and as I have with this, he gets an item, and it's pretty good, and he likes it. And then he finds another one exactly the same, but better. Yeah, he takes it. In fact, in some cases, this is something I did, and you collectors out there will recognize this. When you're in buying things or collecting things, you collect them all, a lot of them. So, as an example, there are 13 comics, Sea Hunt comics. I must have had at one time over 100, because whenever I saw Sea Hunt comics being sold or advertised for sale or being given away, I took them. And then what I did, I took my 13. And if the number one that I had just purchased was better, I would take my number one out, put that number one in, you see? So eventually I ended up with a set of 13 Sea Hunt comics that are almost perfect, mint condition. And not file copies, but very, very close. I'm not sure if I would want file copies because I like to show my comics and look at them myself. If you have a file copy, sometimes you're reluctant to touch it. Anyway, so that's enough on that. So what's this got to do with today? Well, you have very likely seen this game. This is the Sea Hunt game. It's called Sea Hunt game, underwater adventure game, and it's quite common. It's not stupidly rare. It's you can get them. You look around enough. It's a great game. Mike Nelson is on there, and the shark and all that. Now you know as well, if you go to my Sea Hunt Collector website, you know that I have a lot of extras that go with this. I have the original artwork that the artist did for the shark and the diver. I have a couple of catalogs where the Sea Hunt game is advertised back in the 60s, and a variety of things. So this is a kind of a neat game. And I've actually opened it and looked at it. And the box is in pretty good shape, a little bit beat up. It's a child's game after all. And you can open it, and there's the bits and pieces, the cards and all that kind of stuff in it. And it's complete. It's all there. I mean, if you wanted to, if you're over at the house here sometime and you're interested, let me know, and we'll get the Sea Hunt game up and play a game. So a little while ago, I discovered another one. Same game. Look at that. And I asked the person who owned it what it was like, and he described it to me, and I said, I would like to get it. I would like to buy that from you. I would get it somehow. So we did some trading and some money, traded hands and some other stuff. And anyway, I ended up with this game. Now, right off the bat, you can see there's a slight difference. This is the better of the two. You can see the difference in the color. This is lost some of its warm color. This is a much warmer color. The yellows and everything is much brighter. The bright yellow tanks, you see the difference. So right off the bat, you can see that there is a bit of a difference between my game, the first one I had, and this one that I just acquired recently. Are you ready for this? Here's the big difference. Okay, first of all, the lid is perfect. There are no scuffs on it at all. No torn covers, corners, corners. No, nothing torn at all. It's in absolutely perfect condition. And the board that's inside is exactly the same. It is also in perfect condition. I have compared it with my board, and once again, there's not as big a difference because the boards were closed up inside, but you can see slight differences in the color. But here is the major difference and the reason why I was particularly interested in this game. It's never been opened. It's still wrapped in the original cellophane from 1960, whatever, 64, 65. So those little round discs that are part of the game that you trade back and forth between players, here they are here. They're still in the cardboard. They haven't been punched out. The pinwheel spins, the cards are there, little men are there, everything is in there, but it's still wrapped in the original cellophane. Never been opened. So obviously this particular game is much, much better in terms of condition, originality, and everything else. And that's why I wanted to have that particular game. So that's the kind of thing that a collector does. And you collectors know what I'm talking about. You know, you get a collection, you're really enjoying it. So now the next step is to try to make your collection really, really good. There's one example. I have another one that is equally exciting, if not even more so. You may recall some time ago, we did an episode in which I showed and talked about my sea hunt Halloween costume. You see that, Kevin? Yeah. I think this is on the website too. I'm pretty sure it is. And yes, it is. I remember now because I talked about the fact that this is a Ben Cooper Halloween costume. Ben Cooper was a manufacturer in New York who made Halloween costumes. Has been making them since, I think, the 20s or 30s. I can't remember exactly. You can see that on the website. And right up until fairly recently. And he made children's Halloween costumes. And there was one made, which was a sea hunt costume. I know it's a sea hunt costume because it says sea hunt on the chest. It says Mike Nelson. And it shows divers and the weight belt and all that kind of stuff. And there's a mask that goes with it. Okay, so that is the sea hunt costume, which I have had for quite a while. I don't know how long, 10, 15, 20 years maybe. The difficulty is that my sea hunt costume, this one that you're looking at right now, is old and has not been well cared for and is very, very fragile. Now, that's very common for these. I collected in the process of getting the sea hunt costume. I had to buy other costumes as sort of a package. And there was a Cinderella costume and a couple of them. There were 2 or 3 of them. And they were all the same. The material that Ben Cooper uses for this is a very cheap type of fabric, a cheap synthetic linen. I wouldn't say that Ben Cooper designed them to fall apart, so you had to buy a new costume every year, but they sure didn't last very long. And all the costumes that I have had, like this one, this sea hunt costume, has been very, very fragile and falling apart. And that was the case for mine. So much so that that a few years ago, I stopped taking it to sea hunt displays because every time I moved it, it broke a little bit more, very brittle, very fragile. So I stopped taking it out, which it's too bad because it's a neat artifact. So what's this got to do with improving my collection? Well, let me show you. Ta-da! Welcome, folks, to my new sea hunt Halloween costume. And now you can clearly see right there on the chest, Mike Nelson, sea hunt. You can see the diver there, has a tank on his back, no regulator. It's Mike Nelson. A knife in his hands, sharks, weight belt, almost everything. Obviously, the person who designed this is not a scuba diver, but it is also very clearly Mike Nelson sea hunt Halloween costume. But what's exciting about it is it is nearly perfect. It's like new. The material is still very, very flexible, soft and flexible. The edges have a kind of a black plastic edge on them. And that black plastic edge on the wrists and on the neck is good. Still flexible, not brittle at all. The ties for the back of the neck to tie it onto the Halloween kid are still in good shape, and there it is. And that's the original color. It's a kind of a green color, which I didn't know. All the ones I've seen before, including my own sea hunt Halloween costume, was a brown color. So there you go. My new and very exciting sea hunt Halloween costume. in near perfect shape. It's almost brand new. I don't know if it's ever been used, but if it was ever used, it wasn't used very much, and it has been stored very, very carefully out of the sunlight and in some type of a plastic Ziploc bag, preferably. I don't know if they had Ziploc in the 60s, to keep it protected from the air as well. A beautiful Sea Hunt Halloween costume from Vancouver. And of course, I still have the mask that goes with it. The original mask, this mask, is still very fragile. I still have the elastic band on it, but it is very fragile. If I drop this on the floor, it would break up into pieces. I made this little foam back for it to keep it firm when I pack it away, but that's the mask for it as well. So there you go. Improvements, changes to my Sea Hunt collection that I'm very proud of. Beautiful Sea Hunt costume, which, by the way, I should say thank you very much to my very good friend Rich, who had this, and we were able to make a deal, and I was able to get this costume. I'm very proud of it. So there's, you got collectors out there. You don't understand what I'm saying. You Sea Hunt nuts. I know where you're thinking, God, I wish I had one of those in my collection. Well, keep looking. I don't know. On my Sea Hunt Collector website, I rated this as a RR5. That's Rarity Rating 5. Rarity Rating starts at 1. 1 means you can get them anywhere. 5 means you can't get them anywhere. I have, in all the years that I've been collecting Sea Hunt memorabilia, ever since the 60s when I watched Sea Hunt, I have in all that time seen 2 of these Sea Hunt Halloween costumes. I have them both. The one is in terrible shape, and this beautiful one is almost in perfect shape. So RR5. I'm not saying you'll never find one, but I will say it's not going to be easy. Okay. So again, that's another thing that I'm very proud of. Okay, guys, that's it. Just wanted to share that with you. Maybe make you a little bit envious, and get you thinking about collecting some more stuff about Sea Hunt. Let me know if you've got Sea Hunt stuff, if you want to do some trading. I have lots to trade, and you can become a Sea Hunt nut collector like me. Talk to you soon. Alec Peirce, Sea Hunt Remembered. See you guys.